Rift. All 10 members loaded up. And now yesterday we saw very, very safe level 1s drawing that line of scrimmage across the map. So let's just see how this plays out, because they do have pretty strong level 1 teams on both sides.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to see anything too aggressive. I really think that this is going to be... Ooh, but there is some movement in the river.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
ARNY looking to play aggressive, just getting some
by ARNY here. Just getting a little bit of poke. Looks like they're gonna know which side Final Light's gonna be starting on. That'll be useful information for them.
And I think that's something that we haven't seen yet.
Here. Go ahead.
So outside of that early skirmish, a little bit of damage coming from this Fortune. This is the first team that I have seen so far trying to get early vision on the jungler, just to kind of track that pathing. And it's really going to help here because they are starting on opposite sides of the map. So while Lee Sin is going to be on the bottom side of the map trying to help out his bot lane, Jarvan should be on the top side. And that kind of gives Darius that SA, the situational awareness, to know that he's going to have to play safe if he is pushing out that lane.
And we'll really see, with Red Start, just typical start on the jungler here, he's going to be making his way towards the top lane. But that means that Regulator's got a window here to get a level 2 gank off on the Scion if he wants to go on pressure. If he takes advantage. And lane going as you would typically expect, bottom lane just during the poke wars.
Yeah, and both of these bottom lanes now getting there just in time for the minions, so nobody going to be behind, although HTS did leash for their jungler, able to kind of stay here and be in the fight for the early level 2.
And mostly it just seems like it's been pretty quiet, just the junglers clearing and making their way towards their pathing. And it looks like Lee Sin's actually heading up towards his Krugs and possibly into a counter gate top. Let's see if there's any fireworks there. A good trade coming down by tuition fee.
Yeah, Jarvan taking a really quick red to blue, now working on his Gromp. Lee Sin knowing that he's now on that top side, finishing up that camp, and just like you said, we'll see if they do anything on the top side. I think something to note here is Glacial Augment on that Lux. So she may be looking to build kind of supporty in the Twin Shadows, something along those lines, and that's definitely going to help land some of the CC from really anybody on this team. But now we see Jarvan coming to the top lane. He's got the EQ combo down onto Darius. Darius heals up there with the Decimate, flashes away. Lee Sin up in the top lane as well. Now it's a 2v2. Scion getting low, and here he comes. First blood going over to Lee Sin, but the passive is live. Lee Sin getting one. Now a double kill actually going over to the Scion. Scion goes down, but a 2-for-1 overall for HTS. And both flashes blown on the side, or for the jungle and top lane of ARNY there.
How well played by Find the Light there, just utilizing the Scion's passive. Pazzo just getting off as much damage as he could beforehand, and in the bottom lane there's a small fight.
Yep, heal coming out there. And again, 3 stacks means he can look for the Devour. Tahm Kench is level 3, so they have to be careful. And we're seeing this early aggression that we thought we might not see from the Tahm Kench. Heal already blown on the Jinx. Flash from the Misfortune. Just have to see that plays out now. Flag and drag getting the knock up on Deluxe. Barrier being popped. Flash is still available. Electrocute coming down. There's the flash. Prismatic Barrier going to keep her safe a little bit longer. No blood shed there, but Lux having to go back to base here. Now Jarvan being very active in this early game.
Successful gank from him nonetheless. He was able to get the flash out of the Lux, managed to get the barrier, gets Tuition Fee a couple of free lanes, and Tuition Fee is going to be able to go back on a wave that's crashing into the enemy's tower. So overall, the Syndra is going to get an XP and CS lead off of that gank.
Yeah, and Lux not a very mobile champion. If Jarvan is able to either bait out that light binding or even dodge the light binding or get a good EQ to get in regardless of that light binding, she's going to be in a lot of trouble without those summoner spells.
Already in this game, you can see the CS differential starting to happen. You can see a 22 CS lead on the Darius currently. Here, 4 minutes into the game already. The Scion 2-1 because of that gank, but still just feeling the pressure from the Darius. 2 waves up still on the Syndra, and bottom lane pretty much even, but it seems like this Darius is just getting so much income at the moment.
Yeah, definitely doing a great job staying very far ahead, given that he was ganked very early by that Lee Sin. And on the bottom side of the map, although playing very aggressive, Jinx and Misfortune able to keep it very, very close here. The gold basically even, the pickaxe to the 2 longswords. So we're not really looking at any kind of damage spike down there just yet, although the Ashe Misfortune have been playing well. Mid laners going toe-to-toe. And Lux, unfortunately, just getting the butt end of these trades. Syndra in a very good spot, playing aggressive, and again, has both summoner spells, so she's able to do just that.
I think that we're starting to get into like the worst case scenario for Arnie's bot lane here. Right, they're in a lane that's whole goal is to eventually poke down these opposing bottom laners, but with the sustain from Guardian and the Face of the Mountain procs, coupled with the fact that the Ashe has fleet footwork, they're just not able to get any poke down, and it's really to the detriment of their lane. They should be very far ahead at this point, and them being even is a very bad sign for Arnie.
Yeah, now we see Devour coming out and Sion both actually hitting level 6 here. Unstoppable Onslaught is on Jarvan in this top lane as well. Flash not available for the Darius, but he does have the Noxian Guillotine. Maybe he can trade one back. Decimating Smash gonna get the knock up. Stunned is that Darius. And Find the Light picks up another kill in that lane. Now 1-0-2. Playing to his weak lane there in the Sion. Doing everything he can to keep him ahead. And now we see on the bottom side, Flash coming out from Ashe. Ranger's focus gonna pick up that kill. Tahm Kench now in a bad spot, has to walk away. Flash coming up from Jinx, and Lee Sin gets another one. And we see a skirmish in the mid lane. The solo kill going over to that Syndra, and right now just a very scrappy game for both teams.
I think that I can touch on a couple of the things that we said in Champ Select, right? Tuition Fee's just able to play the matchup so much better into the luck. She knows how to abuse the cooldown. She knows what she hates when she's playing against a Syndra. And you really see it coming out in that solo kill there. It was very well played by Tuition Fee. Also in the bot lane, you can see now this lane is starting to turn the tide, even though the dragon going down now because of the pressure from that play. I think it's advantageous to get more gold on the Lux, or on the Ashe rather, earlier.
Yeah, absolutely, and we had kind of predicted this style play where they want to get their team captain ahead, come down looking for early ganks. Unfortunately, the kill not going over to Jinx. Lee Sin did pick that one up, but now going to be able to keep themselves a little bit safer with that Windrake under their belt, and Lee Sin may look to just kind of hover on this bottom side still.
I'm clearing a vision up on top. I think that they're just really trying to make this Darius feel uncomfortable. He's giving up a few CS here just to pressure that vision. And now that the vision's gone, we see the jungler coming in topside.
Jarvan looking for something. Maybe spotted out here. Doesn't want to go too hard. Darius does have the ultimate still available, so very, very strong. But now Lee Sin here on the bottom side of the map. Devour comes in to keep Ashe safe. The kick comes out. Dragon's Rage and the Sonic Wave going to be enough there. Tahm Kench goes down, able to save the Ashe. But again, that movement speed, the nerf on Tahm Kench, making him very vulnerable and not able to get himself away.
And Regulator coming in there for a very good gank, just understanding the timing, knowing the lack of mobility on Ashe and Tahm Kench, and just punishing the Tahm instead of trying to battle against this Devour there.
Yeah, and neither of those, the bot laners have summoner spells. Exhaust still available, but not really going to help Tahm Kench get out there. So anybody really a free target or an easy target in that gank, and another successful gank on the bottom side of the map.
You see the Lux is definitely going to go into the GLP Twin Shadows build, utilizing that Glacial Augment to the best of her ability. It's a pretty powerful build that a lot of mages are able to go, especially these control mage types. It just gives them a lot more utility in actually being able to chase down these fights.
Yeah, now we actually see a lane swap coming out. A little bit too much oppression from the Ashe and Tahm Kench, completely zoning from the waves at times. Couple successful ganks keep them close, but it looks like they want to take this powerhouse Darius ahead of this Sion and keep the Sion behind.
Dangerous for Pazzo.
Here comes Lee Sin. He is in. The kick is not available just yet. It is a 3v2 overall. He will safeguard away as they skirmish for the Scuttle Crab. It will go over to HTS Gaming. But now it's, oh, here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, actually. It might find its target. It does not. It barely misses that Lee Sin. but the unstoppable onslaught is in. Now Sion stuck in the middle of 3 here. Bullet time comes out, the kick back, and the super mega death rocket picks up the shutdown for Jinx. That is exactly where you want that gold. Now he's trying to find something here with the passive, but it's not going to be enough now. 4 members on the top side of the map looking to push down this turret.
Syndra showing up just a little bit too late there, coming around the side. Ooh, good Q.
Yeah, actually getting caught out here. Scatter the weak to stun 2. There goes the Unleash Power. Not enough damage just yet, but that would have been a nice shutdown. Teleport coming out from Sion to keep that turret up, but 2 turret plates, 320 gold, going over to that Jinx solo there.
Damage coming out here.
Darius
Jinx
still
just
on the
poking
top
on
side.
Sion. It's very interesting that they chose to lane swap this early. It doesn't feel like they were having that hard of a lane, but I understand them wanting to pressure the Sion. Maybe it's just because they feel the Darius starting to get behind and they really want to bail him out. But I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to do anything more in the bottom lane than he's already doing top.
Yeah, and that might open up the Darius for more ganks from that Jarvan, because it's going to be a 3v2 rather than, or 3v1 rather than a 1v or a 2v1. Sorry, excuse me. So we may see Jarvan now kind of playing around that bottom side of the map, but Rift Herald going to be started up. Syndra going to check this one out, but she's going to be very, very bad spot there if she does step too far forward. Dragon coming up in just under a minute. And now maybe they did that swap to contest this Rift Herald, and it worked out perfectly. The bot lane up there with the jungler, 3 members able to take that Rift Herald, and now we might look for a play on the bottom side to grab that next dragon. The macro play coming out from Team ARNY is not much more to say about that.
I think that right now we're really seeing the influence of the captain coming out here. You know, Alpha Rudolph taking the Rift Herald for themselves. You can see the shot calling of that rotation that's got to come from bot lane. There has to be a bot lane going, just go bottom, go and farm up, go and try to be useful in the mid game. We've got top, and then pressuring the neutral objective with the jungler. Great execution by ARNY, making light of a bad situation.
Yeah, unfortunately just a little bit too late there. It looks like they are trying to swap back here with Darius going back in the top lane. Dragon already have spawned, will go the way of HTS Gaming. So I think good initiative there, trying to find something. But now we see the light binding locks are in place, but there is the ultimate from Ashe, and that's going to be enough. Again, from downtown, that stun lasts for so long, and another kill going over to that Syndra in the mid lane.
You saw him barely miss that enchanted arrow earlier on that last skirmish, and now just nailing the long range arrow, getting the max duration and setting up tuition fee for an excellent kill with Unleash Power.
Yeah, and they're playing this comp beautifully, making plays around the map. We haven't seen the Abyssal Voyage just yet, but 2 arrows already used to go mid and to go top side. This Ashe really being the utility AD carry that she is, and it's used right now to the fullest of its fullest ability.
As we said, HTS's draft is on paper much stronger. It's going to be really bad for ARNY if they're able to start making picks and starting to equalize this gold value, because ARNY really needs to stay ahead to not fall behind just because of the draft phase.
We see bullet time coming out and some skirmish here in the mid lane. Tomcash gets the tongue lash on. Exhaust is on as well. Jinx forced to flash away. Flash heal from the misfortune now. Jarvan getting devoured. He was up underneath that turret. Super Mega Death Rocket. Ashe flashes, but into the wall, not able to escape. The chase is on. Jinx and Misfortune going to walk away from this one, but in a 3v2, they managed to pick up a kill for themselves onto that Ashe, and that has to feel horrible.
ARNY, just as we're talking about how they might be falling behind here in the mid game, pull out a very nice 2v3 play to recover some of the lead that they had before, and making a statement that they're not going to let tuition fee just scale for free.
Yeah, Jarvan on this bottom side, trying to keep this turret alive here. Tom Kench doing a great job with the Devourers so far, keeping team members as safe as possible. But turret plating is down, so now these turrets aren't going to be as resilient. And as we know, not only 280 carries, but actually we see some fighting in the mid lane. Final spark comes out. Darius is there. Noxian guilty, not going to find that kill, but Lux picks that one up for herself. 3 members in that mid lane getting that shutdown onto the Syndra. And as I was saying, Jinx just melting this turret in the bot lane.
I think that it's very interesting to see how ARNY is just moving around on the map so much cleaner than HTS here. It feels like they're really kind of transitioning and moving into these different phases of the game, really setting up plays and using macro rotations to their advantage to get these neutral objectives much more than HTS. HTS has been playing well, but I feel like just from the signs that we're getting right now, it could be that ARNY gets a really good potential play to get an advantage here, and if HTS slips up, ARNY could just take over with these rotations.
Yeah, and although Syndra playing well in that mid lane, the gold is virtually even, and we're starting to see now gold shifting in the way of that Jinx. Lee Sin helping so much in that bot lane, although looked like a losing lane at first, able to get not only himself ahead, but his team captain ahead, and it looks like they're trying to just ride out that high. Now Jinx with the Infinity Edge, has that Zeal working towards that Runaan's Hurricane, and again, if these tanks can't get tanky, then Jinx is just going to run through everybody. But now we see two members in the mid lane looking for Syndra. Tom Kench is here, has the Devour. Sonic Wave not going to find its mark. Now Jarvan is here as well. Cataclysm onto the Lux. She gets the life binding. Final Spark going to hit two. Lux surely will fall. So they get one there. Now Lee Sin stunned up from the Tongue Lash. Looking to get away here. Darius in the wakes. Another stun. Here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow now. Tom Kench in there, dropping a few more auto. Safeguard will keep him nice and safe with his team. He smites that Raptors. The bullet time coming out, but again, that is a support misfortune. So not too much damage going there. Mostly just saying, hey, get away from my jungle. You guys are not safe here.
Well, and what good patience by HTS there. Nihao could have really gone ham there, trying to get his consume cooldown, but just seeing the misfortune ult coming out, pulling back, taking the advantage that they had gotten, and going back to go and get their CS.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a huge fan right now, and I would love to see once these team fights start to break out, Syndra actually starting things off with their ultimate and then using that scatter the weak. And you're going to have 5-6 balls to really kind of stun that whole front line, which may stop that misfortune ult, which may stop the Lux ult, as we've already seen Syndra trying to do. But Dragon now coming up in just under 20 seconds, and this might be our next fight.
And we see this dragon fight sort of brewing, but I think that it's undeniable that we've seen the strong play from this bot lane here on the side of ARNY. We've seen the strong play from the jungler, but the question is really going to be, can this mid laner make the comeback, start being useful in these team fights, and can the top laner get enough gold to be able to put the pressure on top now that he's been bailed out by his bot lane?
Yeah, and HTS trying to do something sneaky here. They were standing on a ward. They are going to spot it out now, but now all 10 members in this game around this Dragon Pit, and Dragon is going to get started up by HTS. A choke point for ARNY, a very, very dangerous spot for them to be for that Scion ultimate. Dragon now getting below 2,000 HP. They look for an engage here. Flame Chompers are on. Light Binding not going to find. Bullet time is out. Blue team going to secure that Dragon here. But now here comes the fight. Two members are in. Final Spark not going to find anything. Cataclysm onto two. Lee Sin goes down, and so does Darius. Now Misfortune picks up two for herself, and Jarvan trying to get away with his life. Scion passive trying to pick up some kills. Jinx picks up that Jarvan in the Dragon Pit, and now Ashe and Lux going toe-to-toe, but Lux gets the better of that trade, and a 2-for-4 for Team ARNY. They don't get the Dragon, but they win that fight.
I think that really comes down to the compositional differences here. You see the J4 being able to throw in the Cataclysm there, allowing Jinx to pull out fish bones and just shoot out rockets onto the enemy team, really shredding down their front line and winning them the team fight there.
Yeah, and as you said it, just the composition, so much AoE, so much, even the Final Spark not hitting anybody, but zoning two members so far away from that fight. It was just Scion and Jarvan trying to do as much as they could in that Dragon Pit. Scion not able to find anything with the passive either, and now we're seeing that gold lead starting to increase now, just over 4,000 gold for Team ARNY.
We really need to see how ARNY is able to transition this into the rest of the mid game. We're starting to get to the point that builds are starting to get complete. We're getting those first two items where a lot of these champions have their really strong power spikes. We really need to see ARNY use their gold advantage and push on the gas here if they want to be able to close out before 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think, though, as this game goes on, this Jinx is only going to be become more and more of a menace. But a 400 gold bounty on her head, that could sway things in the favor of HTS Gaming if they are able to find a pick.
I think to that, like, Alpha Rudolph has been making all the shot calls here. You can tell just by the way that the rotation's going that it's a lot of AD carry input into these rotations here, making sure that she's able to get the gold that she needs on Jinx, right? I think that moving forward into the rest of this game, we're going to see these same kind of rotations, and this Jinx is just going to get extremely fed and will be very safe because Alpha is really thinking about her own security and the gold that she can get.
Yeah, and I think the only downfall on the side of Team ARNY is that Lee Sin not building so tanky. Now we see actually the Cataclysm coming in onto the Lux here. Flash not available. She uses that barrier, but it does not matter. Bullet time gonna get stopped up. Here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Now Syndra looking for something. There is the kill. Shutdown going over to Tom Kench. That is not where you want to see that gold going, but at least you're getting a kill onto that Jinx. Now 2 dead on the side of Team ARNY, and this tier 1 mid is under fire.
What a fantastic performance by Wizard here. Just really utilizing those long-range Ashe ulti. He's been on point for multiple plays now, really making these small skirmishes go in the favor of HTS and helping them to get some of these early towers.
Yeah, and as I was saying just before that fight breaking out, again, Wizard doing a fantastic job. A good pick from the Jarvan as well, able to lock up that Lux. As this game goes on, right now Darius has the Triforce built and Lee Sin only has the Black Cleaver, so no real tankiness from Team ARNY. And as, like I said, as the game goes on, Sion passive only going to be giving him health as he's pushing out these side lanes, and he's just building all the armor he needs because he knows right now Jinx is the threat.
I think that the most difficult thing for ARNY moving into the rest of this game is going to be that they are all about pick and poke. They're all about pick and poke. And when you've got a Tom Kench on the other side that can save a carry from getting Lux lasered, when you've got so much sustain and tankiness on the other side that your poke doesn't really matter, especially in these tight corridors around Baron and Dragon, where HTS can really position themselves properly, it's just going to be a really uphill battle for them. They have to find a few good picks here and start getting tempo going, or else I think that HTS is going to start taking over the game here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and both of these teams have a very strong Baron taking team. Both of these AD carries, Ashe with the Rangers focus, Jinx with the Gatling gun, able to melt us down. But now we see the engage here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow again. Flame Chompers are down, but it's not going to be enough to save Lux. Syndra picks that kill up, and again, they're doing a great job here funneling those kills into that Syndra now 5, 1, and 3. Darius on the bottom side of the map, and now Baron is in their eyes.
Even if tuition fee isn't as comfortable on Syndra, maybe comfortable in the matchup, but not comfortable on the champion, when you've got that much gold, it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah, now we see Baron 8,000 health here. Lee Sin is here. Both of these junglers level 12, so we're going to see the 50-50, and both of these top laners have the teleport. Sion coming in now. Darius working his way towards the bottom lane. 4,000 health on this Baron. They have to be very careful. Lee Sin's Q is an execute. There is the Q on. He might look for it here. No steal there. Blue team going to pick up the Baron Nashor. Now Lee Sin in a very dangerous spot. Super Mega Death Rocket going to come out, but it is tanked up. And now 1 dead on the side of Team ARNY. Jarvan going to be safe there. Nobody dead for HTS Gaming. They picked themselves up a Baron in that smite fight. A great play by Find the Light, the team captain. And right now, the gold lead swaying in the favor. Just shy of 1,000 gold for HTS. And you've got to be feeling good after securing that Baron.
After a performance like that, you see HTS really come together as a team, make a call for a neutral objective, stand up on the suppression from ARNY, and just have faith in their team captain Find the Light to really just hit that smite. And he played it super well, knocking up the Lee Sin, preventing him from using his smite for just a moment so that Find the Light could thread it in there. Great secure by HTS, great rotations.
Yeah, ARNY on the backside do get themselves an Ocean Drake, so that will keep them safe. Keep Darius healthy as he's pushing the side lane, and he does still have that teleport, so he can look to keep this split push going. And if Sion matches and they look for a fight, Darius is going to be able to teleport into that fight, so they may be able to swing something here. But right now we're seeing that Baron power play shove down that mid lane.
I think it's really prudent of HTS to just use their optimal foreman. They've got an extremely strong foreman with Tam Kench and J4 taking a bit of poke now.
Yeah, we may see an engage here. Final spark is on, but Jarvan actually spots out the Lee Sin. He's going to get absolutely deleted. J4 picking that one up. And Ashe, Wizard on this Ashe is a mad man. 1, 3, and 7. And I believe all of those 7 assists are off of the back end of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
What a pickup by Wizard. It's not really something that was on our radar coming into this champ select, but he's really proven that he's got the chops on Ashe to be able to play this supportive AD carry role and make some things happen for his team.
Yeah, they ban away the Ezreal. They take away Morgana as a whole, so they take away that safe lane, and he's fine playing that safe Ashe pick. I had it actually lower in his champion tier, so to see him play it so skillfully, it amazing, and it's working so well for HTS Gaming, who now have just shy of a 4,000 gold lead. That Baron power play being huge.
And it's got to feel really rough for ARNY here, taking away the main champion of tuition fee, the enemy mid laner, and then still watching her get fed on Syndra. That's got to be a little bit demoralizing.
Yeah, now the Magi Soul Stealer coming out for the Syndra. She knows she's ahead. She's getting a little bit greedy here, but that's only going to help in that damage. And almost immediately somebody's going to get deleted because there's no magic resistance except for one null magic mantle on the side of Team ARNY, and that's on that Lux, who is squishy as is.
And look at the builds coming out from ARNY. I mean, their Darius is now working towards a Sterix Gauge, probably into a Spirit Visit after that, but we're talking about, 10, 15 minutes from now, not right now when the HTS is turning the game around. This Darius is really not going to be able to take in these team fights.
Abyss of Voyage coming out, another beautiful arrow. Misfortune getting locked up. Voltime not going to find much damage. Lee Sin having to safeguard away, but Lux might fall here. Volley, not going to be enough. The heal is going to be used. Tom Kench now walking away from this one. Sion on the backside may look for a flank here. Maybe find a decimating smash over the wall. And now 5 members on this bottom side here. Sion goes in with the Righteous Glory. He finds the slow onto Lee Sin. He's in the middle of 3, but it doesn't matter. He's absolutely huge. Lee Sin gonna fall now too. Oh, he actually goes into the stasis, stays alive. Jinx and Darius managed to pick a couple for themselves. Noxian and Guillotine gonna pop the GA onto that dart, onto that Jarvan. Darius absolutely nuclear in this team fight, but now they're trying to peel off that J4. Lux does manage to pick up that kill, and Syndra gets one on the back end, now putting more stacks onto the Magi's, but she is the only member alive. It is a 1v3, and she is dangerously low. They have to be careful here. Zap coming out, Misfortune walking up. She does have that bullet time. She manages to hit the Make It Rain. There's the slow. There's the damage. It's going to be enough. A shutdown going over to that Misfortune, and an ace. Just as we talked so much about HTS coming back in this game, they bite off a little bit more than they can chew underneath that turret.
And that was really a case of them biting off more than they can chew. I don't think they know that they're about even, and they were trying to make an aggressive play there underneath the tower. But we just see the Darius down there just catching him beforehand. There was a good 3 seconds of that fight that happened before the rest of HTS was even able to engage underneath the tower. Just taking off, like you said, a little bit more than they could chew, getting some kills down there. The gold lead a bit more equalizes HTS's momentum is slowed down just a wee bit.
Yeah, and in that team fight, it really seemed like they were fighting for nothing. They didn't even pressure that turret at all. Dragon not available, obviously Baron not available. It seemed like they just wanted to fight because they were ahead, and you can kind of see what happens when teams start to do or make ambitious plays like that. Ashe getting a beautiful arrow, but it was onto the support, and Misfortune not really doing too much in these team fights. You definitely want to see that on a more priority target.
I think that there's actually a hidden lesson here as they set up a play towards Dragon, that when dragons are equalized, right, both of the teams have an ocean, they sort of cancel each other out, so you really have to look at the stats that they're getting from the other dragon. And here on the side of HTS, you see that they've got the Mountain Drake. They should have been pressuring an objective with that. ARNY able to barely get away with no HP, is able to use that Air Drake to get away. It makes sense.
Yeah, and now they clear some vision around that Baron. They forfeit that Dragon. They're okay with giving up a second Ocean Drake, but they might look to find a pick or a fight around this Baron pit here. Now Misfortune and Lee Sin taking up some of the jungle. Lee Sin might be looking for something on the back line. If he can find a kick onto the carry, that would be huge. Now Lifeline coming out onto Jarvan. He is going to get devoured, but this Unstoppable Onslaught going in onto the Jinx now. The arrow going to follow up with the stun. Cataclysm is in, and a 4-man knockup from the Jarvan. Jinx is still alive, though, on the backside. Ashe able to shut that one down. Syndra picks up a kill onto Lee Sin, and that is going to be an absolute nuclear fight for dead on the side of ARNY. Misfortune to support, the only one alive, and with that clean turnaround team fight, they're going to secure this Baron.
And Wizard just threading that Magic Crystal Arrow through the middle of ARNY, just popping into Alpha Rudolph, taking out the captain, just really demolishing the enemy ADC. I think that you're going to be hard-pressed to find a better MVP for this game than Wizard with these amazing Enchanted Crystal Arrows.
Absolutely, and finding it on that priority target, as it's like he's in comms with us here. We say that he needs to find a priority target, and he does just that. Not only does he find the Fed AD carry, but that is their team captain. As soon as that team captain is out of the fight, they kind of look like they're running around with their heads cut off, not really sure what to do there on the back end.
I think that it comes from the inherent lack of damage in their team comp. Once the Jinx is done, how are they really supposed to respond? I mean, the Lux only has 111 farm, 3, 6, and 4. She doesn't really have the gold to be able to participate in these fights in the way that they really need her to show up for the damage. Jinx is pretty much their only hope to win some of these team fights. And when you've got Wizard just hitting him with an Enchanted Crystal Arrow every single fight, it's going to be very difficult for ARNY to be able to come out successful in any of these team fights.
Yeah, and we talk about Jinx being all of that damage, and Lux kind of building the supporty style with the Glacial Augment, but Sion now has 3 armor items completed with the Ninja Tabbies and a Chain Vest in his inventory. This Jinx, at this point in the game, is just going to be tickling that tank. Not much to really be had, and he's doing a great job just being that solid front line. We see him actually sieging it down here. Decimate coming out, trying to get some poke damage, not going to find anything. And with these baroned up minions here, these 2 cannons going to be able to push down this turret. Final Spark coming out, trying to clear the wave. Not going to get much done there. Darius pulls him in with the Apprehend. Jinx able to clear those up. Again, a lot of damage coming out for that Jinx. But here comes the next wave. And right now it feels like ARNY need to do something. They need to drag them in underneath the turret. They find the Enchanted Crystal Arrow here. Now a lot of damage coming out of the Darius, and he gets absolutely deleted. A killing spree on that Syndra. Lee Sin going to safeguard away here. But now it's a 4v5. Their front line is dead. This is going to be a free inhibitor turret here. Jinx trying to trade some damage back. Sion still has the ult available. Here comes the redemption to top the team off. Final Spark again in this team fight. Absolutely insane. Bullet time coming out. Not going to find much damage. There is the kill from the Jinx onto the Tom Kent. She was playing a little bit too far forward, but now she actually might find something onto the Ashe. There is the Sonic Wave. Will the Resonating Strike follow? I don't think so. Jarvan trying to solo out the support here. He does have the GA available. Cataclysm comes down, finds the dunk. Now he's in that base, looking to push down that mid inhibitor, but 3 members are making a move on this play. He will flag and drag and flash to safety. But honestly, on that Jarvan, doesn't necessarily need that flash, and overall just HTS Gaming taking the base, taking a few kills, trading kills back, but ultimately they get that mid hit inhib, and that's what that pressure was for.
And I think that as far as Find the Light's flash goes, he really only needs it for these neutral objective fights. There's a dragon about to come up, but he's going to have his flash up before the next Baron fight. It's not really much of a loss. Gets the inhib for free, manages to convert something off of that Baron. Now they're going to be able to split with the Darius, or split against the Darius with Pazzo rather, and be able to pressure these towers pretty effectively moving in to the late game here.
Yeah, and it's going to be very tough to contest that Drake when you have supers pushing into the base. Baron buff still available for HTS Gaming, so they may even put Sion in one of the side lanes and try and push that out with the Baroned up minions to just really ultimately secure a free dragon, another free dragon, and bring pressure to either the top side or the bottom side of the map.
I'm afraid that it's just kind of a symptom of the point of the game that our Avery's at here. He doesn't have enough HP to really stand in front of the rest of his team and be that tank that they need, and so it's leading to Wizard just being able to get pretty free shots off of this Enchanted Crystal Arrow here. It's all just boiling down to what happened in the early game. So transitioning HTS with a stronger composition coming out of draft phase, just pushing that lead. Moving into 35 minutes here.
Yeah, and almost a solo queuish mentality, building damage even when you're behind, and right now they're paying for it. We see 5 members pushing down this bottom side. They pick up a second Mountain Drake, so these turrets are going to be absolutely shredded. But we'll see if they're able to find the fight. ARNY did a good job last time defending this turret, losing the mid inhib, but not much more that HTS can find here. So we'll have to see how they play this out. Sion ult is available. Light Binding comes down, only finds a couple of minions. Flame Chompers are on, so a lot of the peel now on cooldown. And we'll see if they're able to get into this back line. Lee Sin look for something on the side, trying to find a flank. But he has to go and stop those super minions. And now this is not a Baroned up wave, so this push is kind of a stalemate. There's so much wave clear for ARNY, the side of ARNY. Now we see the engage onto the Lee Sin. He flashes away. Dragon's Rage going to keep him safe. Again, safeguard away with the Warthog. But here comes the arrow now onto Darius, who is very squishy. As we were saying, the damage coming out from Syndra not going to be enough. Bullet time to push the team back. Darius going to have to run it back to base here. And a lot of that engage now gone for HTS. We'll have to see how they try and siege this base. Baron coming up in just under a minute.
HTS should really just back off and go and try to get Baron pressure here, but now starting a fight underneath the tower.
Yeah, we see the apprehend coming in now. Tom Kench gets absolutely deleted immediately. Sion not tanky enough. Misfortune gets that one, 2 dead. Now make that 3 as Ashe follows. Jinx flashes forward, trying to find the kill onto the Syndra. Not gonna find that. Sion goes down, but gets one for himself. 3 for 1 overall. And just as we were saying, we needed HTS to back off there. And again, just playing a little bit too ambitious.
You see Paz, though, he really wanted to go and get that Misfortune. I think that he could have killed the tower there, and I think that shows the kind of mindset that HTS was in going into that fight. They really wanted to take the fight and kill them instead of using the slow pressure of the Baron and the huge wave that they had crashing into the tower top to play more of that macro style game. They really went for it and paid for it a little bit there.
Yeah, now 4 members going to start up this Baron. 2 members still dead. Abyssal Voyage is available, and it looks like HTS wants to collapse here. 5,000 health is that Baron. The teleport coming out now from the Darius, so all 5 members will be here. Will they be able to find the steal? They do not. Jinx picks that one up, and now Jarvan in a very bad spot. He does have the GA, but that is going to get burnt out here. Jinx getting dangerously low on the backside of the pit. Are they able to find that kill? Devour coming in to keep Jarvan alive for a moment longer, but Jinx picks up a double kill on the backside of that pit, but absolutely deleted by that Syndra. Syndra getting that shutdown gold, building up that Magi's again now, 22 stacks. A 1 for 2 overall, but Baron going over to ARNY, and now we're seeing this gap in the gold start to close.
I want to commend Tuition Fee for really keeping cool-headed inside of these team fights, managing to pick one back, even though they ended up in a poor situation there. I think that ARNY's doing what they need to do to try to transition this game over. It was a really good play to run down the mid lane, get to the Baron rather, knowing that the respawn timers on HTS were such in this later stage of the game that they were going to be able to take the Baron with very little contestation.
Yeah, we're nearing 40 minutes in this game. Jinx still dead, but full build here. The GA is going to be available here in what looks like just a moment. Should have it in this next team fight. And now the Baron power play for Team ARNY sieging down this mid lane themselves. For Rudolph being absolutely huge in that last team fight. Sitting in the back of the pit, he does go down to the Syndra, but picking up 2 kills for himself in a situation that he couldn't get out of. So what did he do? He couldn't run backwards. He just fought forward. Now Elder Drake going to be spawning here in just under a minute. And HTS trying to find something cheeky. Final Spark coming out, not going to find anything. 2 ultimates down. There goes the Ashe Arrow, not going to find a target either. And right now HTS
I think that's the
on
first
the back foot.
Ashe Arrow that I've seen miss.
Yeah, aside from that one in the top lane, that was very, very close and all the way downtown.
An interesting little series of macro rotations here, just fighting over vision inside of this jungle. Sion trying to get into a position to attempt to pressure some of these squishies. Slowly losing damage on this tower here. I feel like ARNY's just really using the Baron to better effect than HTS did.
Yeah, a huge wave on the bottom side. Somebody's going to have to answer that. And Elder Drake is available now. And Elder Drake, you definitely don't want that on HTS. So right now, as much as you want that damage, you're taking that Elder Drake, if you're ARNY, to really keep it away from HTS. Because with those 2 Mountain Drakes, your base is going to get melted.
Yeah, and the multiple ocean drakes really starts to matter once we're talking about getting them buffed up with Elder Drake. They would basically be able to siege forever, and with this more profitable team comp, really with these tanks, having 4 times ocean drake would just be absolutely ruthless on ARNY, who really themselves have limited resources to begin with on their comp.
Small engage coming out there. Final spark gonna be used from the Lux. Fortunately, a very short cooldown, so she should have that in the next fight. But both of these teams being very cautious because they know that this fight could be the fight that determines how this game ends. And now Elder Drake gonna get started up here by Team ARNY. All 5 members, they pull it out of the pit. Looked like for a second they wanted to reset, but now we might see an engage here. The Ashe ultimate
Fortune
is
cut off the
available.
rest of the team.
Misfortune actually is cut out there. Jarvan notices, he goes in, prismatic barrier, pulls him off of the dragon. Jinx getting the damage up, but now an arrow now onto that Jinx. The knockup, the final spark, only gonna find Tahm Kench. Jinx getting dangerously low. The GA is gonna be popped. The bullet time is on, but Tahm Kench is just so tanky. Noxian Guilty gonna get one, but Jarvan sits that Jinx down. Cinder picks up one for herself, and now Team ARNY is just trying to kite this out. Lux gonna fall, and now Misfortune, the only member alive on this team, a 4-for-1, and they went back to their roots. They stopped trying to push the base and fight under a turret, and they just found a beautiful engage there.
And what a wonderful ulti by Nihao there, just taking that R ulti to get into the back of the fight, to really be able to get Pazzo onto the carries and just completely shift the dynamic of that fight with so much CC coming out of the Tahm Kench and the Sion.
Yeah, and that's 15 seconds now on that Lee Sin. Give me that first member, and it looks like that is going to be enough for game 1 to go over to HTS Gaming. The Nexus is gonna fall, and that is it. GG's HTS Gaming.
Just like last night, the first game of these first week games just seems to be a lot of players getting on champions that they're really good on and just going at it, a slugfest back and forth as they try to get comfortable with their new teammates. That was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, both teams playing it so well there at the end. Just a couple of missteps there. Jinx stepping up a few times in some of those fights, and unfortunately paying the ultimate price. And again, I think we give, like you said, not only the most damage on his team on the Ashe for Wizard, but those arrows were so crucial.
I think he went about 8 and 10 on arrows there in the mid game. Just really was able to turn around a lot of those fights, and hitting Alpha Rudolph with 3 or 4 of those arrows, just completely changing some of those team fights. Just very well played by HTS, pulling together as a team, using their better team fight, getting into the mid game once tower kills weren't that important, and winning it with an extremely good ulti coming out from the support, bringing in the Sion there. Just beautiful execution all around on the play.
Yeah, absolutely. Jinx doing so much damage, but unfortunately not able to get the win here. I believe these teams are going to take a short break, and as are we. We're going to jump to a quick intermission, and then we'll be back for Game 2 between HTS Gaming and ARNY, and what a game Game 1 was. So on the way out here, Styx, you got anything to add for Game 1?
Excited to see how game 2 goes and how everyone's going to adapt. I think that with firefight games like that, I just hope that they're able to keep at the same level and that we're able to have an exciting team fight filled game in game 2.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys in just a moment for Game 2 between HTS Gaming and Team ARNY.